Hi, this is Joe Bolen, and we're going to continue on our series of creating a text editor in our Visual Basic.NET series. First of all, we're going to look at a very simple part of our program, the file exit option. It sounds simple, it's easy to code, but some of the logic could be missed if we were not careful. So let's first of all take a look at where we're keeping our information about the documentation for this project. And so you can go out and take a look at it at pastebin.com/u/jboh. And you can also take a look at the main form out there at the Imgur site, and also other videos that are out there at YouTube as well. So pause your video if you'd like at this point and write down these links. Then come back in and continue on with the video. Let's get into our code and take a look at what we're trying to accomplish. Okay, we're looking at the Windows Designer, and we've already coded in the menu tool strip, and here is the file exit option that we've got coded in. And so we can exit the program this way. And of course, we also have the form closing that will take place if we hit the little X in the upper right hand corner of our form. So both these possibilities exist for us to close out our form. So let's get into the code that relates to the exit. Okay, and here is the code for that. We're coming in with the tool strip click event. We're coming in here and we want a code for this. Well, this is actually a very simple part of the code, and I'm going to make it not too obvious in a minute that we need to do a little bit more. It's just ME close is all we need to do to close out our application. When we issue the ME close on our main form, it shuts down all the other forms and then closes out the application. So this is a simple way to end our program. But there's one possible problem that we could have. We could have a situation where the user's entered in some data into the text box and has not yet saved the data. And if we issue ME close or click the red X in our form and exit out too quickly, we might not save the information that we need to save. So we want to check with the user to see if they do want to save the information before they exit out. And to do that, we use a form closing event. So I'm going to go back to the Forms Designer, click on the form itself, and what I'd like you to take a look at is the properties and events. And I've clicked on the events button, I have it highlighted, and I'm going to scroll to the form closing event. There's the form closing event. This is fired anytime the form is closed, before it goes totally out of focus. So we want to code in this spot the possibility to find out if the user wants to save any changes they have made thus far. So I'm going to double click on the form closing event, and that'll create our code in our window, and I'm going to edit a little bit and change it, and just to make it look nicer, I'm going to pull in my code that I have previously out there, and I'm going to overlay it, and there is our code. Now what we're doing on the form closing event, upon closing, we want to ask the user if there's anything in the document that we want to save. Also, we're going to save settings in our program that we haven't yet designed for. So I've had this commented out, save settings procedure. But we're going to come in and do the save changes routine, or I should say function, because if it returns back that the user does want to save it, then we're going to act as if we clicked on the tool strip to hit the save option. So let's take a look once again at the save changes part of our code. Let's scroll back up, and there is our save changes function on that. So if we come in and as we're closing out, either through the file exit and doing ME close or hitting the red X, before we exit out, we're going to come in and do a quick check to see if anything's changed. If there has been modifications, we're going to ask the user, do you want to save your changes? And if it returns back true, we'll go ahead and save the changes. Otherwise, we'll just exit on out. So very simply, we have just a few lines of code, but we want to have the form closing event, and you'll see that I've coded in here also the region statement to group our code. We're going to be adding more into the main forms event region area. This is the first one we've added, the form closing event. So let's take a look at our code running. And right now I've got it up and running, and I'm going to code in something into here so that I just have some junk in here to have. Now I'm going to hit the file exit, and if everything goes correctly, we'll, during the form closing event, be prompted to ask if we want to save the changes. So I'll hit exit, and there's our save changes message window coming up, and I can say yes or no. I'm going to say no right now, and it'll exit on out. Let's do it again. And this time I'm going to save it. Please save me. And I'm going to exit out. Now you'll see that I have no file name at this point. I haven't done any saving. And I'm going to hit the red X this time for a change. At this point, I get also the option to save the change, and I say yes, I want to save the changes, and it should act as just as if I had clicked on the save button. And there's our save as that came up. We can enter in a name as well to save it. I'm going to cancel though because I really don't want to save it, and it'll go ahead and exit on out of the program. So when you're coding for your application, make certain that before you exit an application that you have saved all the changes you want to save. We're going to save some settings later on in our form closing event. We'll go to that procedure of save settings, and also we want to make certain that we save the data that was in the text box before we exit out, or at least give the user the option whether they want to save it or not. So we're moving right along in our program. I hope you'll go out to Pastebin and take a look at the code. Go out to Pastebin and you'll find everything you'll need that we've done thus far. And if you have any questions, leave a comment at YouTube. Also, give me a thumbs up if you're liking this series. I'd appreciate it. So get your hands dirty in the code. Until next time, take care.